Progress Test, Unit 8, Track 19. 1.
We boarded the coach outside the hotel. It was extremely hot, even though it was only 10 o'clock in the morning. It took about 2 hours to get to the castle, and there was no air conditioning on the coach, so it was a terrible journey. It was made even worse by the woman sitting behind us, complaining all the time about how badly organised everything was. She said she was going to ask for a refund from the travel company when she got home. Anyway, when we got there, the place was full of other tourists. We had to queue for ages to get in. And then we were shown round by a tour guide who I couldn't really understand because of his accent. When we came out, we were dying for a drink, but I'd forgotten to bring any money with me, so we had to make do with our warm bottle of water. So, all in all, it wasn't a great experience.
2.
We spent 3 days in the capital getting our camping equipment together. The next part of the journey would be by plane and would take us to a small landing area deep in the jungle. From there, we'd have to travel on foot, staying as close to the river as possible. There was a tropical storm just before we boarded the plane, and it looked as though the flight might not set off. But luckily it passed before we took off. I was still feeling absolutely exhausted after the long flight from London. I closed my eyes as soon as I was in my seat, and although the flight was a bit rough, I was asleep for most of the journey, only waking up when we landed.
3.
We got a good price because we'd only decided to go at the last minute. I'd been working pretty hard and was really looking forward to getting away for a weekend. But I have to say, it wasn't the 5-star accommodation I was expecting. It didn't look like our room had been cleaned properly, so we complained. But the one they moved us to wasn't much better, and the food was terrible, so we ended up eating out. Meals were included in the cost, so I didn't enjoy that at all.
4.
The journey didn't start well because we were held up at the airport by a strike, but we finally got here and found a fantastic little place about half a mile away from the beach. It only has 3 or 4 guest rooms and it's run by a lovely old couple. The morning after we arrived, we decided we'd walk to a little church, though there is a little bus that you can take. The sky looked pretty frightening, so we put on our raincoats, which was lucky because it started to pour down when we were about halfway there. We made our way past rows of shops where they tried to sell us some souvenirs, but we didn't buy any. When we got to the church, we lit some candles. It was an amazing day, the kind of thing we'll remember for the rest of our lives.